Hey guys, and welcome to A Policeman's Life. Kenny here, and in this video I'm going to look at the CrossFit Open, and I'm going to narrow it down to the national championships that came, or the national champions that came out of the CrossFit Open. So as we know, the format changed this year. We have sanctional events where athletes can win that event and they get a ticket to the CrossFit Games. Also, we have, just for this year, I think it was the top 20 in the Open, will get invites to the CrossFit Games. If you look at the leaderboard, you'll see a blue line there, and it'll be lower than that number 20 because it also removes people that are national champions. Anyway, it's all figured out there. But for this video, I'm going to look at the national championships, who won the countries. Now, just keep in mind, this is not, I guess, completely confirmed and validated. I think the CrossFit site said that on May 1st they'll basically confirm who is going to the CrossFit game via the Open and winning their countries. But this would be a good idea. Like, people have to submit their videos and their scores have to be all validated. But right now, as we sit, we can kind of see who is going to the CrossFit games. So let's go look at our leaderboard here. So first off, we'll scroll through here. And for the United States of America, we have none other than Matt Fraser. Now, Matt Fraser already won, what was it, the Dubai Open, so he already has his ticket to the game. So if you click on the country, you can see everybody that followed up behind him. Now, just as a reminder, just because Matt Fraser already has a ticket, number 2, who's Jacob Hepner, doesn't automatically get a ticket. They're not doing it that way. So it was a close race. Well, I guess relatively close race. We have Matt Fraser number 1, Jacob Hepner number 2, Cole Sager we have number 3, George Sterner number 4, and in the top 5 in the States we have Rich Froning. He came ahead of people like Scott Panchik in 6, Jason Carroll 8, Travis Mayer 9, Logan Collins 12. Who else is down there? Saxon Panchik. Tim Paulson had a really rough Open. He came in 18th in the States. He's been at the games before. And the list just goes on. Noah Olson was actually quite a surprise. He came in, 31st in the CrossFit Open for the United States. So he had scores like in the first open workout, 19.1, he was 325th in the States. Then he went up to second one, 21st, third one looking good, 7th, made another charge on the second last one, 19.4, he was second, but 19.5, he was 21st. So he'll have to go to a sanctional event and try to qualify that means. So we'll go back to the national champions. And just as a side note, even though this video is not about who's in that top 20 or so, just look here. Jacob Hepner on the leaderboard. Just go back to that because he is kind of a fan favorite. I like to see him. He's number 4 in the world, so he should be getting a ticket to the CrossFit Games. So back to the national championship. So the States, Matt Fraser, he's already been qualified. For Greece, we have Lefteris Thefendinis. Sorry about that. He's qualified and actually second ranked in the world on the leaderboard that way. So number 3, no surprise for Iceland, we have Carlo Bloomington. So he won that race. So an interesting race here for Canada. As you can see behind me, there's a Canadian flag, so I am Canadian. So it's kind of a close race for the Canadians. C Mon Roi Lemare, he won. Had a really good Open. For 19.1, he came in first, 19.2 fourth, 19.3 first, 19.4, sorry, he came in 10th. That was his lowest, and those are within Canada. And 19.5, he came in third. Next, we have Samuel Croix, sorry for the name. Third, Patrick Vellner. Now, he's already won his ticket to the CrossFit Games, so he maybe was taking it easy, not really pushing himself. Alex Mignot came in 4th, who was at the games before. Jeffrey Adler, Paul Tremblay, a good name. Alex Caron, 8th. But now the thing that will shock you, we have to scroll down. And number 14th in the world, in Canada, was Brent Fikowski. So the first workout, 19.1, 9th, 19.2, 10th, 19.3, 38th, 19.4, 21st. And 19.5, 56. Now, definitely 19.5 is worst finish, and it's actually a bad workout for a tall guy. But 56 in Canada for that ranking. Now, Brent Fikowski usually doesn't do well in the Open, but he's never, I think, finished this bad. So I don't know if Fikowski, just knowing that the Open's really not for him, just kind of took it easy. I don't know. Maybe he's tapering for... he's going to the Asia qualifier, so he's going to compete in that, and hopefully he'll earn a spot from there. So let's get back to the national championship. So we got the States covered, Canada covered, a lot of big names from there. Latvia, it was Yildiz Peninisk, Frederick Egidius, big name, and he's Thor's daughter's husband. Denmark, he qualified. So here's another one, Australia. Always a lot of competitors used to come from Australia. So Braden Brown won Australia with 20 points. 4th, 1st, 3rd, 8th, 4th. So a really good showing. And right behind him was Dean Linden. He was at the games, was it the last 2 years or 2 years ago? Anyway, good competitor. He just was edged out by Braden Brown. So then there was, for 3rd, Zeke Grove was at the games, I think, 2 times. Royce Dunn, big name. Rob Forte came in 6th in Australia. And then another name, Com Porter, he was down 7th. And then James Newberry, 9th. Brandon Swan, 10th. So some of those names are quite low compared to what I thought they would be. And realistically, with the amount of sanctional events that's left and the quality of some of the athletes that still haven't qualified, some of these guys are going to have a hard time qualifying. So for Sweden, we have Lucas Holmberg, he's qualified. Willie George was at the games. France qualified. So then for Russia, the qualifier here was Alex Alin. 12 points. He had a really good showing. First in the last 2 events. Roman Kernekov, in 3rd place. If you remember him, he won regionals, I think it was last year, but had visa issues and couldn't get to the games. He came in 3rd, so people are probably thinking that he'd win that. So that was Russia. What do we got? Jonakoski for Finland. Elliot Simmons in the United Kingdom. That was a close race. Then we start down. Let's see. Here we go. Adrian Mundweiler, Switzerland. He qualified. Jason Smith in South Africa. And then a lot of countries and athletes basically you've never heard of. But one thing was kind of interesting. I scrolled down in the bottom and I felt so bad for Lamon Conaire from Mali. Now I don't know if there's an affiliate in Mali, but basically this gentleman here, if he just would have not done 19.2 scaled, he would have won the national championship there. And all you need is you need to be able to complete the workouts as prescribed, none of them scaled, and there has to be a CrossFit affiliate within your country. So I don't know if Mali has one, but if it did, I feel bad that he did that one workout scaled. But anyway, that's the video on the Open National Champions. Again, these people will all be confirmed and verified come May 1st. So you could see some of the close races. Somebody could get penalties on their score because these are all video submissions, and something could change. So that is the men. So if you skip over to the women, we had some close races here. So first we had Sarah Sigma's daughter in Iceland. So she's already won her ticket to the CrossFit Games for winning one of the sanctional events. It was a very, very close race between her and Annie's Thor daughter. And I guess Catherine Davis' daughter was right there. But Sarah won it. Annie came in 2nd. Catherine in 3rd. So Sarah and Catherine have tickets to the CrossFit Games. Annie's going to have to win one. So that was a close race. Because even if you look at 4th at 3rd, Helga daughter, she wasn't too far off there as well. These are big names within the CrossFit Games and the CrossFit Regionals. So back to the leaderboard. Kristen Holte won it for Norway. Jamie Green won it for New Zealand. These are people who have always been at the games, good athletes. The States was a really close race. You have Danny Spiegel winning it all, just edging out Carrie Pierce, and I guess you could say Brooke Wells and Amanda Barnhart. They were all right on her heels. So she had a total of points of 54. As you can see here, Carrie Pierce was at 59. Brooke Wells 64, and Amanda Barnhart at 65. But again, if you go back to this, we'll go back to the leaderboard here. Put it on women. A lot of these names will fall. Like Brooke Wells is 6 or tied for 6 within the Open, so she'll get an invitation. She just didn't win the States. So Australia, we have Tia Claire Toomey. So of course she's already got her ticket through a sanctional event. In Canada, we have Carolyn Reason-Thibault. She just edged out Caroline Prevost. Now we'll get to some other people later, but remember, with the rules in the rule book for the Open and National Championship, if you hold citizenship within multiple countries, as long as you declare at the start of the Open which country you're competing for, that is fine. Like Pacelli, she was always identified as a Canadian, but she must hold citizenship within, I think it's Italy, that you can see that she qualified for. So anyway, we'll go back up. For Slovakia, we have Karen Friva, Emma McQuaid in Ireland, Anna Fergado in Greece, Sam Briggs. Nice to see Sam Briggs. She's won the UK race. Nice to see her back after her injury. She pretty much ran away with it. There's 16 points between her and second place. So nice to see Sam Briggs make it back to the games. And like I said, Andrea Pacelli, she won it for Italy. And where we got some Laura Hovart, who was a big name that came out of Hungary, she won that. And no real other big names as we go down here. One thing I want to point out, Brenda Castro, she ended up winning the race in Mexico. If you remember the 19.5 Open announcement, she was competing against that Leah Smidged or whatever. Anyway, she ended up edging her out by one single point. So Brenda Castro came in first in 19.5, and then Leah Smidge came in second. So I guess if I'm doing my math right, if Leah would have won that, she would have tied. So they would have been each had 13 points. Then it would have went to a tiebreaker, which is the most first place finishes, and Brenda Castro would have had 2 and Leah would have had 1, so Brenda still would have went to the games. So good to see Brenda Castro go back to the games. So as we go down, and again, what I was pointing out before with the rules, so how to qualify, because I was looking at like some of the last place people, not to pick on anybody, but like in some of these countries at the end here in Tonga, we'll pick on Tonga, only 2 people competed, but the girl that won it, sadly, she did 3 of the workouts RX, but the other 2 she didn't finish. So even if, I don't know if there's an affiliate there, but she wouldn't have made it just based on the rules that you had to complete all the workouts. Anyway, that's my video on the CrossFit Games National Champions. So I'll throw up some other CrossFit content. CrossFit's a hobby of mine. I enjoy just talking about it. So leave some comments below if you have any questions. Give this video a like, subscribe. I'll throw up some other videos based on who's going to the CrossFit Games, based on the Open, and some sanctual videos and stuff like that. So anyway, I hope you have a great time. I hope that you did good in the 2019 Open, and if not, maybe some weaknesses were exposed, and you can work on those coming up to, we have another Open, like it's the end of October, which will be like technically the 2020 Open, even though it's held in 2019, but it's for the 2020 games. So that will be the new time in the fall. So work on those weaknesses throughout the summer and come back and attack the 2020 Open in the fall, and hopefully things will get better for you. Anyway, you have yourself a great day, and we'll chat soon.